Hello heroes, Joe Smith here. Just got done watching a preview, full movie preview of American Underdog. You know, Joe Smith's got some connections in the movie business now. Just got done watching this. This story is near and dear to Joe Smith's heart here. Growing up near Cedar Falls, Iowa, near about halfway between Cedar Falls, Iowa and Des Moines, Iowa. Knowing about Kurt Warner growing up, knowing about him when he played for the Barnstormers, knowing about him and watching him when he won the Super Bowl with the Rams. So, Joe Smith here kind of knew a lot about the story growing up. And we're going to talk about the movie, what about the movie is fact, and what about the movie is fiction. And spoiler alert, if you have not seen the movie yet, then go ahead and shut this off and see the movie first, because don't want to spoil anything for you. So, there's going to be spoilers in this video. If you haven't seen the movie yet, go ahead and shut this off right now. And wait till you see the movie come back. Okay? Anyone that understands that there's spoilers in this video, but don't care or already saw the movie, you can keep watching. Okay? Last chance, shut it off if you haven't seen the movie. Okay? Okay, we're going to move forward. This movie is about the story of Kurt Warner, his wife, and her kids, and his race to fame, starting with the UNI Panthers, going on to Iowa Barnstormers, trying out for the Green Bay Packers and Chicago Bears, and then playing for the Rams in the Super Bowl, and then he got his chance to take over for the Rams when Trent got hurt. And we're going to find out how much of this movie is true and how much is fake. This movie stars Zachary Levi, Anna Paquin, who is in the X-Men movies, and Dennis Quaid, amongst other people, of course. Okay, first of all, most of the people in this movie, most of the actors in this movie, that is, look almost identical, like really dang close to their real life characters. Zachary Levi looks pretty close to Kurt Warner, or how Kurt Warner did back in the day. And Paquin, how she looks in this movie, looks really close to Brenda Warner. One of the biggest differences is Hayden Zoller, who played Zach Warner, or, well, Brenda's son Zach, that became Zach Warner after Kurt adopted him and married Brenda. Actor Hayden Zoller is actually Chinese born and looks very little, almost nothing like Zach Warner does in real place, who was born in 1989 in Iowa. Hayden Zoller was born in 2009 in China. And of course, you know, Zach Warner's a lot older now, so you have a young kid that looks like him, but, you know, everyone looks so like their counterparts in this movie. All the actors look so much like people they play, but Hayden Zoller, not saying nothing bad about him, he done a fabulous job in this movie. He only looks, well, he doesn't really look much like Zach Warner does in real life. I mean, other than having the same color hair. The face shape's different, just not really much like him. compared to the other actors. But you know, that's kind of cool that they casted a Chinese-born kid in this movie because Hayden Zoller is actually blind in real life, just like Zach Warner was in the movie. Or in real life, for that matter. So, Hayden Zoller, who's blind in real life, Chinese-born, actually done a fantastic job playing Zach Warner, who's blind in real life. Even though they don't really look a whole lot like each other. But all the other actors in the movie look a lot like their actual characters compared to most movies. About the only other thing is Bruce McGill's character of Jim Foster, the inventor of the Army football and owner of Iowa Barnstormers. There's only maybe a slight resemblance there. But still, every actor in the movie done a fantastic job. Now, as far as the movie and the facts of the movie and historical accuracy, how much of it is fact, how much is fiction? In the movie, it shows Kurt Warner and Brenda first meeting at Wild E. Coyote's bar in Cedar Falls, Iowa. Yes, that's a real bar. It is no longer open since it's been closed. It's bought by a new owner. It's been closed. It was originally called Wild E. Coyote's bar, and then Coyote's Country Bar, and then was later closed. So yes, that is fact. That was the actual bar in Cedar Falls, Iowa. You know, Joe Smith grew up near there. Joe Smith had friends that went to college at UNI, University of Northern Iowa. Joe Smith went over there to visit them back in Iowa before moving to Arkansas. So Joe Smith spent a little bit of time there at UNI, but Kurt Warner had already passed through there and was no longer there at the time when Joe Smith was in Cedar Falls or at UNI. He was already on the or trying out for the pros or on the Barnstormers at the time. So he was not at UNI when Joe Smith's friends were at UNI, unfortunately. Never met him. Just kind of heard lots and lots about him growing up. But yes, there was a bar, a dance club, a country dance club, did line dancing and whatnot, called Wild E. Coyotes or Coyotes Country Dance Club in Cedar Falls, Iowa. And that's apparently where Kurt and Brenda first met, so that is a fact. That is true. In the movie, it kind of hints that Brenda was a former Marine, showing some pictures in the background. That is true. She was a former Marine corporal. She left the military in 1990 in order to better care for her son after he was accidentally dropped by her husband or boyfriend at the time, which was mentioned in the movie, in the bathtub, which caused a brain injury and caused him to go blind. And then her husband, at the time, the father of the boy, couldn't live with the fact that he accidentally dropped the boy in the bathtub, caused him to go blind, and left her. Or it led to their divorce. I don't know exactly if he left her or she left him or how it happened, but yes, she was in the Marine Corps at the time and quit the Marine Corps early to care for her son after the accidental drop in the bathtub by the father of the son that led to the brain damage and caused the boy to become blind, which was mentioned in the movie. So yes, that is true. That's a fact. Yes, it talks about in the movie Brenda had 2 kids, and yes, we just said Zach, who was accidentally dropped by her ex-husband, the father of child, when he was 3.5 months old, left him to be nearly blind with brain damage. And they later had a daughter, a younger girl, but the ex-husband left her, or they got divorced. After that, her ex-husband Neil was also a former Marine who suffered from a brain tumor and had brain seizures, or whatever. But Brenda in 1990 took a hardship discharge from the United States Marine Corps there in 1990. Cared for her son after Neil, mentioned in the movie, accidentally dropped him in the bathtub, causing the brain injury. Don't know if Neil's seizures or brain tumor had anything to do with the accidental dropping or not. But yes, that's all true. And yes, it's true that Kurt and Brenda's son, or Brenda's son, that Kurt later adopted in the movie, was blind. And as mentioned already, the young boy born in China that played Kurt's or Brenda's son, Kurt and Brenda's son in the movie, is blind in real life too. So that's all fact. And yes, Hy-Vee is a actual grocery store in Iowa. Their motto was shop Hy-Vee there's a happy smile on every aisle, something like that. Yeah, shop Hy-Vee, where there's a happy smile on every aisle was their theme song back in the day. You know, when Joe Smith was a little kid, Joe Smith's grandpa was like the janitor for the Eldora, Iowa Hy-Vee store, and next door neighbor worked there as well. That was like Iowa's biggest grocery store, still is. And in fact, Walmart had taken some ideas from Hy-Vee stores, because back in the day, Hy-Vee opened a bigger store. Hy-Vee started out as like just a little small town grocery store, but then started getting bigger and bigger. And they opened a new store in Marshtown featuring restaurants and a bank and hairstylists and stuff like that around the perimeter of the store and booths. And it'd be like 10 years later when Walmart would actually copy that idea and start doing that. So Walmart actually copied Hy-Vee grocery stores from Iowa with a lot of things. Hy-Vee is based in Iowa. Several Midwest states have Hy-Vee grocery stores. And yes, Kurt Warner did stock shelves and work at Hy-Vee grocery stores back before and during playing for the Iowa Barnstormers. So yes, that is fact. Hy-Vee is real, and Kurt Warner did work at Hy-Vee. That's all fact. Really miss Hy-Vee. Loved Hy-Vee. That's where we got our groceries growing up. Joe Smith would kind of go around town on his bicycle, pick up pop cans, and for 5 cents a can, and take them Hy-Vee, get 5 cents for a can, and then buy a pack or a couple packs of baseball cards. Growing up, that's kind of how Joe Smith got started with baseball cards. So yes, Hy-Vee is real. Kurt Warner really did work there. That's all fact. Were Brenda's parents really killed in a tornado in Arkansas? Yes. Brenda's parents did move to Mountain View, Arkansas. It's somewhat near where Joe Smith lived lives currently. They moved here. They died prior to Joe Smith moving here. But yes, they did move here. A lot of people from Iowa, when they retire, move to northern Arkansas here to retire. And they did too. And yes, they did move here. They lived in Mountain View, Arkansas, which is somewhat near where Joe Smith lives currently, although Joe Smith hadn't moved here yet at the time when this happened, but actually lived here. Here's a story from the New York Times. There's like 7 people killed in that tornado in 1996. Seven people killed, 30 injured Sunday night when tornado hopscotched for 45 miles along the hilly terrain of northern Arkansas. Arkansas areas, Holly Mountain Resort, a campground in Sycamore. They actually lived in Sycamore, which is by Mountain View. Half the people killed were in the campground. Campground employees said 4 tourists had been killed there. Near the town of Fox, about 50 miles southwest of Sycamore. Pine trees uprooted roof of Skyland Baptist Church, which remains standing. Tornado struck while about 30 people were in the Hilltop Church for a Sunday night service. 2 tornado victims, Larry Carney, 52, and wife Jenny, 50. Yes, that was Brenda's parents right there, Larry Carney and wife Jenny. Didn't say here, but yeah, Brenda was born. Brenda Carney Meone, Parkersburg, West Virginia. They moved to Iowa. She grew up in Iowa, growing up. But yeah. You can do some more research, but yeah. Larry Carney and wife Jenny, 52 and 50. That was Brenda's parents. That was killed in their house in Sycamore, hit by a tornado. Friend Buddy Marcellus struggled to hold back tears today. He said his friends were supposed to be baptized at church last night. If they had gone, they'd be alive. So, don't know how true the story is. But yeah, they were killed in the tornado in their home nearby. Apparently, according to this story, they're supposed to have gone to a church and been baptized that night. And if they had, they'd still be alive. But yeah, just sad story. So yes, that's true. In the movie, it shows Brenda's parents had moved to Arkansas and were killed in a tornado. And yes, that's true. That's a fact. Prior to the parents moving, in the movie, Brenda's dad asked Kurt if he would take care of the daughter, if he really cared about them, and Kurt said yes. So, after the parents died in the tornado, then Kurt got married to Brenda. That's also a fact. Scene that was cut from the movie talks about a bug bite that Kurt Warren got. Prevent him from trying out from the Bears. Yes, that's a fact. And yeah, he had tried out for the Packers prior to that, but then was cut in the movie. It said after 2 days. Didn't look that up, but it's probably true. That's probably a fact as well. But yeah, it was cut from the movie. Kurt getting bug bite, preventing from trying out for the Bears. That's also a fact. Jim Foster in the movie, Jim Foster showed him as being the inventor of the Arena Football League and the owner of Iowa Barnstormer team in the Arena Football League. That's a fact. That's true. That's a fact. He did ask Kurt Warner to play for a team, and Kurt eventually did play for the team. That's a fact. Don't know if they're having practice in Hayfield or not. That may have been exaggerated or something. Don't know. But yes, that guy did start the Arena Football League. He did own the Barnstormers, that team. And Kurt did play for the Iowa Barnstormers. They played in Veterans Memorial Auditorium. They showed in the movie, Kurt's like, well, if we practice in the hayfield with hay bales surrounding us, and where do we play? It's like, welcome to the barn. And yeah, that's what Veterans Memorial Auditorium was called when the Barnstormers there. It's called the barn. It was a multi-use facility. Prior to the Barnstormers playing there, I saw the ice capades there. Grandpa's friend, gal friend, after the divorce, a couple of her kids were professional ice skaters that toured nationwide with the Iowa Barnstorm, or not the Iowa Barnstorm, but the Ice Capades. And they were there, got from free tickets, go watch them, and got to hang out after a show and stuff like that. That's really cool. Got autographs. Want to pull that out and show you here another video. But it was a multi-use facility, Veterans Memorial Auditorium, Des Moines, Iowa. Home of the Iowa Barnstormers at that time. They had ice skating there, ice hockey, before they built a new ice hockey stadium arena for their new ice hockey team. They did have some cattle shows and rodeos there a lot of rodeos there. Forget if they had like monster trucks there. They may have even had like WWE or WWF at the time wrestling back in the day there. It's just a multi-use facility. So yes, that's true. They played in Veterans Memorial Auditorium. It was called the Barn. And yes, they did have livestock shows and rodeos there in between playing arena football. So that's all true too. And yes, when Kurt got picked to play for the Rams after he played over Amsterdam Admirals, NFL Europe for a little bit, he returned and got a spot in 1998 as St. Louis Rams third-string quarterback behind Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer got hurt in a game, tore his ACL. They sent Kurt Warner in, and he just wowed everyone. And then Kurt Warner got the starting job after that. So yes, that's all true. Trent Green got hurt. And Kurt Warner became the starter after that. Yeah, sad for Trent Green, but yeah, that's all true. That's how Kurt Warner kind of got the start. And then also, yes, Mike Martz was really hard on Kurt. That's all true too. And then yes, Kurt Warner, as his first season as starting NFL quarterback for the St. Louis Rams, won the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 34, beating the Tennessee Titans. Creating the nickname Great Show on Turf. Kurt Warner earned MVP honors for both that game, the Super Bowl game, and for the league for the year. That's all true. And, kind of mentioned in the movie about Kurt Warner being a devout Christian. Yes, that's all true too. Kurt and Brenda were both highly involved with making the movie, and Kurt and Brenda's relationship is a very strong relationship, as portrayed in the movie and still is. They've since created a foundation where their son Zach currently lives independently in like a group home for disabled Americans, or well, that's all true too. And to be honest, uh, they had some actual NFL footage at the end of the movie, and also during the movie, and if you ain't crying by the end of the movie, then you're probably not from Iowa. This movie is as real as it gets. This movie is as true as it gets. Just about every part of this movie was accurate and true. Nothing was made up. There may have been some slight embellishments here and there, but for the most part, this is about one of the truest, most accurate movies you're going to see nowadays. And it's a must-see movie, too. If you're not from Iowa, you're going to like American Underdog. It's something you need to go to theaters and check out. Thanks for watching. Joe Smith, signing out.